Hey Anthony, do you like my new shirt?
Sure, man. It's cool. Could have been better.
What was that?
I said it could have been better.
You want to fight about
Yeah, I
it?
do. Let's go, chump. Hold on a second. We don't need to fight.
We don't?
All you need to do is go to 86.com and choose from one of their many designs. Franchises range from Skullgirls to Street Fighter and even BlazBlue. And if you check out 86 through this Twitch channel, use 86.com /AFF equals 4 to let them know that Mission Star Podcast sent you. Before we get more into that, let's just dive right into the news. I will start. As I was going through the news stories, there were some pretty big ones that happened this past week. The Sony online, I won't say direct, but the state of play they did. Microsoft's own thing as well for their kind of online showcase of games and whatnot. But what really caught my eye this week was Facebook in terms of the Oculus Quest and making some moves that are just, when I saw the announcement, it blew my mind in terms of like moving the needle forward in the VR market. So I'll start with this. So I'll start with the, this is from uploadvr.com, written by, do we got a writer here for this? Don't think we do. This is the very bottom. No writer. All right. Well, here's the article. States on the Oculus Quest. The Oculus Quest is getting controller-free finger tracking in early 2020. This will allow developers to create apps where you can interact directly with your hand instead of the touch controllers. Existing apps should also be updated with this functionality, though this would be suitable for some, such as social, VR, or passive entertainment, due to the lack of input or haptic feedback. This confirms our speculative report from February of this year when we reached out to John Carmack to find out the prospects of this feature arriving. HTC's new Vive console PC VR headset also supports optical finger tracking, although reports of their algorithms tracking quality on the Vive Pro has been mixed at best. And then over at TheVerge.com, written by Nick Stat, Oculus Link will let you plug your Quest headset into the game PC to play Rift games. Facebook-owned Oculus VR is launching an update in November for its standalone Quest headset that will allow it to be plugged into any virtual reality ready game PC to access the entire Rift library. The feature is called Oculus Link, and it was announced today by Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg at the Oculus Connect Developer Conference in San Jose, California. Quote, "Your Quest is basically Rift now, too," unquote, Zuckerberg told the crowd during the conference keynote address. The caveat to this, if you want to use your Oculus Quest as a Rift, you still need to meet the minimum or recommended speculation for specs for your PC in order for that to work. But there's a USB-C connection, and you connect from your PC to your Oculus Quest to make it happen. So the big thing for me is that the hand tracking technology that was shown in the trailer you see behind me, and able to use your hands now and get rid of the controllers, I think is a huge step. The Oculus Quest is already one of the cheaper VR headsets out there, with Facebook making this move, and on top of the fact that you can also convert it into a full-fledged Oculus Rift for more power and to basically play more games at a much higher resolution. It's mind-boggling. At the same time, like, they're moving the VR market much closer to a much more sustainable area for people to look at it and buy it, and the convenience factor as well. So it's Facebook making big moves. In terms of like, is this enough for people to go out and buy a VR headset? Almost.
I'm kind of confused. Okay, so you being able to connect the headset with the USB-C.
Yes.
Like what? So that means that you can plug the headset in and not have to set up like anything sensor-wise, and you can just run it just there off of one wire. Is that what the big deal is?
Essentially, it's giving it more power. Essentially, is what it's doing is, by itself, the Oculus Quest it's wireless, and the specs of it is less than the Oculus Rift. But when you plug in the USB-C from the headset to the PC, bear in mind, you still need to have a PC that can run Oculus Rift. You can then pretty much convert it into an Oculus Rift, using that power from your PC to power up your VR Quest.
Yeah,
So
I see.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like the interesting thing about all this, I'm kind of curious about is, and I ask again, like, is this enough for people to go out there and buy VR Quest? Like, is this something that people are going to be lining up in droves to get?
No, and I'll tell you what, now, I ain't not buying anything to do with VR until they figure out how to make it truly mobile, which there's no reason they can't.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to VR, it's just the price. I think the VR technology is developing, and it is at a place where if we're getting to this point where we don't have to worry about controllers anymore, that's a huge first step. But there's another step in the VR technology space.
I mean, I think that's years and years out. I think maybe about like 1 or 2 years to where you're actually gonna get like one-to-one tracking. Even then,
that's true.
Like a little bit buggy, because I mean it's hard to like right now they have it working like that good, just in very specific settings, like room wise or game wise and whatnot. I think there's a lot more to it.
Possibly. Like go ahead, Alex.
So the reason why I'm like, I think it's really all gonna be, it needs to go to like a fully truly mobile based system, is the fact that they're pushing all this stuff for cloud, right? Cloud. Well, there's no reason for them to not then combine cloud technology for gaming to handle the processing for a VR load, and then have it go to a completely wireless system that is using like a 4G or 5G connection, and now you don't even need to fucking worry about anything. Like, you don't have to have a computer, you can have it literally anywhere. It's perfect.
I think it's getting there. I think the technology is that idea, or that the tech is, I want to say it's closer than I think people would think. Because I've heard.
Honestly, I think that tech is like 5 to 10 years out.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Like, I'm thinking, because I've been hearing a lot about 5G for so long.
No, if being be a thing, and if it's actually going to work until.
It's true. Yeah, that is true. It may take the first.
I mean, if we can't even play games with our fucking controllers on like a regular screen like this, then for a while.
Yeah, and like it will.
I can see like that's definitely the future.
Yeah, and I think that it may take the first generation may not hit it. It may take the second and the third generation to really hit that sweet spot, as we've seen in other tech devices out there, that after a good couple generations, like, they'll actually hit what they were promoting. I'm very hopeful. Like, as I said, like there's obviously VR has a market. People are buying VR just with the Sony PSVR, and Sony kind of out there touting like how much they sold. As far as everything else wise, like, I feel like it's still growing and it's still progressing, but like I wouldn't think that they'll get to the point where they actually have finger hand tracking already with the VR. I thought that'd be like years down the road, and we're already at this point saying that be out by 2020. Bodes well for the VR market for Facebook. Like, it bodes very, very well. Like, it's actually progressing much faster than I think.
I don't see any reason why hand tracking would take any amount of time. I'm honestly surprised that it took them this long to get it. There's no real reason for them to do that. They already have a ton of technology that will track, minute facial expression changes and shit like that. Why would it be any different than that? I don't know why it took them so long to get to this point.
And this might be me just not be following the VR market as close as as we were just discussing this topic. But you're probably right on that, Alex. I had figured that when it comes to the VR headsets, that you were just tied to the controllers and whatever the VR headset provided, and that was that. I thought VR, having a hand tracking for VR, I thought it'd be much more later down the road. But as we see, like, they already are introducing it for next year, and possibly, maybe this may be some tech that is not new to Facebook or to other tech companies, and something they can easily implement into their VR devices. So we'll definitely see in due time. Again, and the thing with VR is that yes, there's a market for it, and yes, it is growing, but the biggest thing is going to be the price. Yeah, and that's always been the main issue with VR. Like, it's like I said earlier in the article, like, to use the VR Quest as a Rift, you still need a beefy computer. And as far as like how much that computer would be, you're easily looking at, give or take, 1,000, maybe more so. I'm being kind of general when it comes to their price.
I don't know what their exact specs are at this point, so I don't know if I can really say that, how much it would be. But like, let's put it this way: you can put together a mid-range gaming rig that can stream for $1,000 to $1,500.
Funny you should ask about the specs. I got them right here. So, just off the bat, if we're going with the Oculus Rift specs, the original, for the let's go with the minimum first. Just the minimum, Intel i3 or AMD Ryzen 3 1200 or FX 4350 or greater. Graphics card needed this NVIDIA GTX 1050 Ti or AMD Radeon RX 470 or greater. Alternative to that would be an NVIDIA GTX 960 4GB or AMD Radeon R9 290 or greater. Windows 10, obviously. 8 gigs of RAM plus. I'm assuming they probably need more than that.
You probably need like 12 to 16.
Yeah, definitely. You need a USB port, obviously, and you need a HDMI output. So yeah, those are the minimum specs for just the Oculus Rift. So based on that alone, like as Alex said, like, yeah, you can have a good mid-tower gaming rig, and you should be good to go. So again, go ahead.
Like I was saying, like, that's the reason why, like, with all the cloud-based like gaming that everybody's starting to push out, it makes perfect sense to move it to a fully mobile device where you don't have to worry about it because all that shit's handled on the back end on some server.
Yeah, they could definitely do that. I wonder if Facebook is going to be looking into that in the future. I mean, to be honest, most game companies are especially with Microsoft.
Facebook probably won't, but some of the developers, they might do it themselves.
That'd be interesting. Would they have the infrastructure to do that? Like,
depend on the publisher. I mean, it's going to depend on the developer. It's going to depend on if they have a publisher, and then it's going to depend on which publisher they have. So, like, indie games, hell no. No, there's no way in hell. But if, say, EA decides to jump into it, yeah, fuck yeah. Or Ubisoft or any of them who are touting this shit, yeah, they'd be able to. Hell, Google's starting to look into how to do it, so I don't see why they wouldn't be able to just be like, hey, we've already got all the servers and shit in place. We will literally give you room on these and sell you room.
It's true. It's very true. If anybody would do it, Google probably would be with the best chance at it. Interesting. I'm curious to see what happens in the future with VR tech in general. But I think what Facebook announcing, I think, is still a pretty big needle in terms of like the VR market and where it's at the moment, and kind of moving it forward. So it's cool. I like it. It's awesome. We're getting closer to the future, that sci-fi future that we always memed about.